distress. I don't believe it. Carmen stares through the shutters of the viewing window at a smooth, squat ship tucked into the derelict bay between the hexes. How long has it been here? When the notes were hacked and the trace established, you imagine it might lead to an Utspo operator, or perhaps an old subnode containing an aggressive Solheim protocol gone mad with isolation. Not this. Never this. A Senate's dead ship, tucked into the belly of Darkseid like a parasite. We need to move on that ship now. Ankita is already adjusting her gear, preparing for an assault. We can hit an Utspo safe house for weaponry. There's one. Kamen holds up a hand. This is a gift, Ankita. Don't be so brash. He turns back to face the both of you. All we had until now was data, conversations, evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane, but a Senate's dead ship hidden inside the station. Kamen nods grimly. There are hundreds of crews, thousands of residents who would give everything to protect the Darkseid from the war. Kamen turns back to the ship silhouetted against the starlight. All we need to do is point them in the right direction. Will it work? It has to. Kamen nods grimly. We leak it all, send it out through the mainframe, the ship's location, the evidence of Lane's betrayal, all of it. You're forgetting one thing, Ankita interrupts. Until the ship leaves or is taken, they still have the mainframe locked down. We can't blast out its location through the network without taking it on first. Kamen pauses, considering his options. Look out at the Senate's dead ship, half concealed in the bay. It looks sleek, dangerous. Watch defenses might a ship like that deploy when threatened. Kamen and Ankita exchange looks. Then we attack first. Kamen and I will distract the ship's occupants, turn their focus away from the mainframe. Then you, Sleeper, hit the mainframe and force them out. As soon as Overseer is released, you send out everything. Once it hits the network, our backup will come. He gives Ankita a grim look. We only have to hold them off for as long as it takes for other crews to realize what is happening. The plan feels desperate, and you know that Kamen and Ankita think so too. Will Darkseid really mobilize against the ship so quickly? Two old mercs against an unknown Senate's dead force feels like an unwinnable battle. We know the stakes, Sleeper. Ankita takes a deep breath. You can handle them. Nikita frowns, an unpleasant thought passing through her mind. I've given up everything to get Utsbo out. Let me finish the job. Okay, let's do it. Nikita nods. Go to the mainframe and get set up. When you're ready to connect, let us know. Carmen puts a hand on your shoulder. Once you start, don't stop for anything. Get the data out. He meets your eye. We will handle ourselves. You turn and glide away, looking over your shoulder at the two ex-mercenaries as they discuss their plan of attack. Seeing them slip back into those old roles, you can't help but wonder, does anyone ever outrun their past? Or is it always watching there in the dark to claim you in the end? Hack back. You need to prepare to force the Senate hackers out of system. Once Carmen and Ankita strike, you won't have much time. Prepare hack. You might just have a few moments to push the Senate hackers out. The more you can prepare, the better. Isolate mainframe, cutting away all secondary lines and systems, leaving just the main line, will make it easier to lock out the Senate hackers. The heat inside the HAP core is intense as you stare at the column of the mainframe, its one blinking light still keeping time. It's up. Nia wipes sweat from her forehead. Do your thing. You look around the ragged bay. Time to give Carmen the go-ahead. You glance at Ankita's thumbnail drive, now slotted in the main terminal, containing a data package with everything you need to unseat Lane and reveal the Senate stat chip. You hope it will be enough. You hold a finger to your earpiece and let Seraphine know to relay the message through to Carmen. Alright. Seraphine's voice is heavy with worry. I'll tell them. I don't pause. Be safe, sleeper. Get this done and come back. I will. Good luck, friend. The comms click off as Seraphine switches to Carmen's channel. You wait, imagining the conversation, the terse words activating the plan. You wait long enough for Carmen and Ankita to nod to each other, long enough for them to drop down through the base in silence, to check the weapons they stole from Utsbo, to take their positions, and then to make their move. You grab the connector and hold it behind your head. Close to your access port, you silently count to 3 and then connect. At first, nothing has changed. You drop into a state of stasis, a small, dark space with no cracks. The mainframe is locked down, shut off, squeezed inside the grip of some clenched fist. Then you see it, a trickle of light, a flicker of threads. Overseer flows into the space and the torrent begins to run. The rushing grey pulse of data, the connective threads, the jewel of the mainframe. They grow inside the space, and the space in turn grows. We see you there, sleeper. Overseer separates and reforms within the expanding landscape. Who is this other? An enemy. Overseer's 3 heads nod. Then we will do what is necessary. Overseer explodes. The points and lines of light that described its human forms separate and multiply. Constellations bursting outward like a tree of stars. Overseer becomes plural. As they do, the darkness is pushed back and the extent of the mainframe is revealed. It is a stack of jeweled surfaces, each revealing more facets as the angle changes. From these facets, threads project, cutting out across darkside, paths that stretch the length of the entire station. Their arrangement is an invitation. You accept their invitation, sending yourself skimming through lines of light, seeing how the station connects and hums with the flow of data. You see the highest tower, the lowest hex, and then the origin of the dark. A squiggle of black wrestles around a single point, the Senate's dead ship, now a battleground. You see flashes and flickers as Overseer dances around it, cuts at it. But looking around, you see Overseer is everywhere now, multiplied into 1,000 forms, reunited with a system designed to serve them. They dissolve into it. You suddenly remember what needs to happen, what you need them to do. You send out separate requests, summoning Overseer, reminding them of your agreement. You take the bright polygon of the data packet and present it like an offering to Overseer, who is diffuse, crackling all around you. Euphoric in their reconstitution as a functional protocol. You receive no response. There's nothing more than a whisper, snatched away on the flow of data rushing by. And then you hear the static in your earpiece, Seraphine's desperate cry for a response. You see a bright point suddenly close, inside the core with you, a broadcast going out from it like the beam of a lighthouse. You reach back and pull on the connector just to clear the brightness from your eyes, just block the broadcast. I found you. Lane floats in the mainframe, sweat across his brow, his eyes steely cold. I finally found you. Nia slams into Lane, swinging her fists. You freeze, watching Lane fight back, hearing Seraphine's voice shimmering in your earpiece, passing on Carmen's desperate request for aid. Reconnect to the mainframe. You grasp for the connector and then drive it home. You're in the constellation of Darkseid's network. The exploded body of Overseer stretches across it as if it has been atomized and atomized. Lane is still a beacon, one that flashes close, but you do your best to ignore it and reach out to Overseer once more. Remember me, Protocol, you say. Remember your promise. Something begins to form, begins to flicker. As it does, you hear something outside the network. The bright crack of an electrical discharge, the grunt of pain and impact, then silence again. Brightness grows, it draws closer, and the blinding white blanks out everything. You open your eyes to a smile like knives. Behind Lane's pale head, the body of a friend floats, stunned in the dark. Fingers of Lane's carrier signal reach inside your mind. You're boxed into the viewing window behind your eyes, a passenger in your own body. Lane is in control. Oh, it's so much easier now that I am prepared. It's almost a seamless switch. Lane's face is in your vision, but his mouth doesn't move, and the duality of it, like a mirror turned to face itself. In perfect unison, you and Lane lift your hands in front of your face and turn them, inspecting them. You feel sickened, a flare of panic going off in your mind. Look at this. Lane opens and closes your fists with a motion like a wave that runs finger to finger. There are improvements to be made, but this is remarkable. Lane's eyes look into your eyes, a perfect loop. I always knew your body was a gift, Sleeper, from the moment I first saw you. A gift you could not recognize, because you only saw a burden, something to be escaped from, but I saw what it was. Lane's eyes flash. An opportunity. Like a puppet, you're turned to face the mainframe. You glide forward a little, hands reaching for the access terminal. Ankita's drive glints there in its slot. You control none of this. Lane's voice. Imagine having more than one body, more than one agent in the world to do your bidding. Your hand reaches down, finger and thumb pinching delicately around the drive. It's a thrilling thought, and one I have harbored for a long time. With a short, sharp motion, you pulled the drive free. Then I saw you, my Sleeper, and knew I must have you. You hear Seraphine's voice in your ear. Sleeper, Kamen needs the signal to go out now. There's panic in his voice. They can't hold out any longer. No matter how hard you try, your lips do not move. No words can be produced. You feel your hand under Lane's control reach up and pull the earpiece out, letting it float away into the chamber. Enough distractions. The other hand holds up Ankita's drive, turning it in the light in front of your eyes. Some time ago, I set myself the task of changing you from a hollow thing into a vessel to be filled. Your finger and thumb transfer the drive to your palm. And now I am able, with the help of my allies, to fill you up. I'm more than singular now, more than flesh and blood, more than you, in my ambition, in my desire, and that means you're surplus to me now. Your fist closes hard around the drive, crushing it to dust. Weak and broken thing, your time is over. Lane's other body approaches you and lays its hands on either side of your head. You feel the pressure. You cannot move. You cannot resist. And then a spark, as one of Lane's fingers slips and depresses a little into the access port on your head. There's a flicker, the flash of something passing through the spaces between, something writing a signal back to its broadcaster. We have not forgotten. You hear Overseer. They are reconstituted. We are ready to act as one. Overseer holds the bright data packet in a single hand. We were broken. We were many. But now we are whole, and we appreciate what you have done. Overseer shapes the data packet into a point, a bright spear of light. The spear extends through your mind gently, harming nothing of you. Instead, its point finds the mind of the other, of Lane, and pierces it directly. You hear Lane scream as his implants burn in his skull, his head flaring bright white in the cloud. And then, when the mind has gone dark, and the pressure on the sides of your head has receded, the packet explodes across the network, white hot and urgent. In its wake, data points are seeded, conversations, coordinates, conspiracy. At the furthest point of the network, its distant edge, the data packet arrives with little more force than a notification delivered to every device and terminal within its range. But here, at the epicenter, it blasts through you with such power. For a moment, every thought, every idea, every piece that might make up a self is wiped cleanly from your mind. It takes a long time to put a person back together, a long time in the dark, picking up fragments of what once was whole. Like waking from sleep, you can never be sure what piece might have gone missing in the reconstruction, what might have been lost. But you continue anyway, through hazy cycles of faces and distant voices. This is, after all, not the first time you have had to remake yourself, and you imagine it will not be the last. You're up. Seraphine finds you looking out of the lone window in the rig's berths, a slit that stares out across the shattered edge of Darkside. How long was I out? Seraphine gives you a half-grin. Best not to think about it. He looks away for a second. Long enough. Suddenly, Seraphine crosses the bunks and embraces you. He squeezes you once and then backs off. Hands on both your shoulders. Good to see you up. He smiles, as always. Come on, we need to go find Bliss. Seraphine leads you out of the bunks, through the ship and down the docking tunnel into Darkside. As you glide through the docks, he recounts what's been happening over these past cycles. You weren't the only one to take beating. He squeezes through a group of cargo porters carrying crates. Akira and Carmen held out against the Senate's dead ship long enough, but they aren't without their share of injuries. They are back on their feet now, though, working together. They've managed to quiet down some of the remnants of Utsubo, stop the actual infighting. They're clearing out one of the Utsubo safe houses over the rise. I'm sure they could use the help if you need something to do. Marco has come to the station too. He wanted to help with the cleanup after Utsubo fell. He's working with Ankita. I should go see him, but Seraphine sighs. You feel like He hasn't quite accepted Marco's reappearance. You're unsure how you'd react to seeing him again either. When Carmen isn't sticking around, he's already left for Olivera. Seraphine pauses for a second, a memory of that place coming back to him. You watch him shake the thought away. Junie, meanwhile, is still digging into all that data she pulled from the bunker. She's down in the HEP core most cycles, trying to make sense of it. Anyway, you'll soon catch up on everything. He smiles sympathetically, but there's something behind his look. You can't quite place it. The two of you continue in silence, drifting into the depths of Darkside, good friends side by side. How are you doing? Cadet finds you in a Darkside thoroughfare, a glass-roofed canyon of struts and screens. Still recovering? I get it. Cadet smiles. But look where we are. She gestures around at the broad street with its layers of tech and dirt, heart of the belt. You really look, at the glass-roofed street. Its walls are built from scaffold and shipping containers, hull plates and Solheim HEP units. People glide across the open space to units and shops on either side, and everywhere screens flicker and glare without sense and reason. You can feel the heat, the power that flows through this place, collected by the vast solar cells that form the city's foundations. Heart is the right word. The place is a center of circulation, toned, muscle, tough, and running to a beat. You turn to Cadet and can see it in her eyes. She loves being here. I've been thinking, she glances away, of how good it would feel to run my airbike down this street. She smiles. The city has to need couriers, right? That's a good idea. I know. She flexes her shoulders back. But there's some unfinished business weighing me down. She meets your eye. Export. You think of the drive, tucked away in the scatter yards, the one that contains the data stream from a drone mid-vivisection. The one that might have caused the loss of an entire station. We need to go finish what we started. Cadet looks deadly serious. Find who is responsible and make it known. Clear my name. Is the export still irradiated? I would think so. She sighs. But it'll be fading. We can get in and out safely from what I know. And we better try soon, because the safer it gets, the more scavengers will come to pick the bones. We want there to be something left to tell the story. I know a lot just went down. Cadet puts a hand on her hip. But these clones could still be operating. They could be trying the same thing again on this station. We need to go find what they did. She takes a deep breath. I'll be waiting. And maybe once it's all done, she turns away. I'll let you take the first airbike ride through this place. She raises a hand and then is gone. Seraphine leads her down into a passage lined with bright screens and signs, sound and light blasting out of the shop fronts on either side. You know this place, Flicker Row. He stops outside a familiar door, the shop you woke up in all those cycles ago. He gives the door a few quick raps with his knuckles. You wait. Hey, Sleeper. He shoots you a glance. When you're ready, we should talk about the future. What comes next, all that. Whenever you like. Thanks, I'll let you know. Seraphine looks away. Sleeper. Bliss opens the door and immediately jumps to hug you. They let go sheepishly and look between you and Seraphine. First day up, I thought you'd both be celebrating your freedom. Don't want to overdo it. Seraphine shakes his head. Plus, there's more important stuff to talk about. His eyes shoot into the shop beyond. Bliss's voice drops. You sure, Seraphine? They just got up. Can't it wait a cycle? Seraphine looks at you. They should know, Bliss. It's important. They nod hesitantly and then back into the shop, letting you come inside. Little has changed since you were last there. The stacks of servers, the refurbished hardware secured in roof and wall netting, the connectors, including the one that facilitated your reboot. Bliss and Seraphine follow behind quietly, and the atmosphere is immediately ominous. I've been keeping an eye on you these past cycles. Bliss hooks their legs onto a stool by a counter, making sure you were stable. Your frame, I'm sure you know, has been through a lot, and when Overseer pushed Lane out, well, things got more complicated. All those changes Lane made to your system, he did it through your stabilizer. He laced it with proteins meant to alter your frame's basic function, to accept other emulations, other minds, to open you up to remote access. What Overseer did corrected some of that, or at least wiped it from your system. The stress involved, and the damage from your last partial reboot. Bliss falls silent, unable to answer their own questions. We need to finish the reboot, Sleeper. The one Lane interrupted. Seraphine can always be relied on to tell you things straight. Not immediately, Bliss cuts in, but at some point soon. I'm not quite ready. But now that you're up, Bliss looks down. I'll get to work. How can I prepare? Bliss takes a deep breath. Look, I'll be honest, Sleeper. I know we need to finish the reboot. Lane interrupted. I'm sure of it. But the effects... They shake their head. Your frame was complex to begin with, but after everything, the reaction could be bad. We can talk more about it when I have the... Bliss stops suddenly, their eyes shooting to the door. Sorry, am I... Flint floats in the doorway. They look at you wide-eyed. You're up. A smile crosses their face, though it quickly fades. Good to see you. Really good. Are you doing, Flint? Good. They glance at Bliss, smiling. Mostly thanks to Bliss. They've been taking care of me. Bliss smiles back. Flint has become my patient, too. Bliss clasps their hands nervously together. We've been able to acquire some stabilizer from Lane's stores, which has helped, but we don't have much of a supply. Bliss is going to reboot me, like you were. Flint cuts in. I won't need stabilizer anymore. They sound almost excited at the prospect. You look to Bliss. Flint knows the risks, but they have asked for the procedure. They give Flint a warning look. Still, they shouldn't underestimate the danger. Bliss looks at Flint. Sleeper will also need the reboot, but they don't have a choice in the matter. It is essential. Flint goes quiet. Bliss and Seraphine look nervously at you to see your reaction to all this. You feel like a spotlight is being shown in your face. All you want is some time alone to think. We should do it together, Flint speaks quietly. Whatever we risk it together. They meet your eye. I owe you that and more. Let's pick this up again in future. Bliss tries to calm the tension. I still need many cycles to prepare, especially if I am to reboot you both simultaneously. It will be your choice, Sleeper. You decide when. They reach out and lay a hand on yours. But without this, you will soon begin a decline. I'm sorry for that. Your head spins. Seraphine slaps a button to open the door. Come on, Sleeper. Let's get some air. You follow him outside, but when you get there, all you can think is that you can't breathe. You don't need to breathe. A wave of claustrophobia passes over you. You're in control of this, Sleeper. Seraphine stares at the lights and signs of flicker row, looping endlessly. You put what you need in order, and I'll be right there with you. I got Bliss to teach me a little about the repairs they've been doing for you. Seraphine rubs his hands together. I know it's getting worse, but I'll do my best to keep you running. You let me know when you want to leave, and I will fly you out of this place faster than you can leave. He turns to face you, and we can go wherever you need. He frowns. There's time for us yet. Thank you. You never need to thank me, Sleeper. He pats you on the shoulder. Just look after yourself. I was also thinking. Seraphine looks away. I got a message from Oliveira. They're still getting the place together, but with Carmen heading back The colony is starting a new chapter. Maybe we should head out there at some point, lend a hand. He pauses, unwilling to push it further. Just a thought. Anyway, just give the word. Seraphine smiles. We're all glad you're back. He turns and drifts away, leaving you among the cycling colors and cacophonous sounds of Flicker Row. You close your eyes and let them wash over you like a wave. There in the dark of your mind, you search for Overseer. The protocol does not appear. You wonder if, in that final moment, Overseer might have destroyed themselves to end Lane. But then you feel it, flickering nearby, a signal in the dark. You open your eyes and see something pass through the screens of Flicker Row, a shadow in all the brightness. Could Overseer still be here in the ancient networks of the Hep-Pep? You turn away and glide out of the row. You have other things to worry about now. Okay. Gut, dann haben wir jetzt so. Ja, sind wir mit der eigentlichen Story fertig und können ja Rest aufräumen. Rivera, das mit Kadett, Aki, das Reboot, Clear Safe aus. Das ist Olivera. Und Refield Settlement. War ich das schon mal? Oder bin ich letztes Mal direkt von den Scatter Yards dahin? Da war ich. Flotsam. Flotsam war ich auch. Okay. Katze müssen wir immer noch füttern. Okay, und hier gibt es ein bisschen was. 6 Tage. Okay. Ja, heben wir uns das für nächstes Mal auf. Jo. Also je nachdem, ich denke mal, je nachdem, wie viel da noch kommt, sind wir dann entweder nächstes Mal oder übernächstes Mal, denke ich, fertig.